I was just taking a look through my phone gallery at some past videos that I had recorded, some that I've uploaded, some that I haven't. And I came across one that I shot exactly 2 months ago to the date. And I looked at it, listened to what I was saying, and it was so weird to me to hear what I was talking about. The things that I was struggling with at the time, 2 months ago. That's not that long ago. But what I was talking about was the fact that I had overcome some resistance that I was struggling with that particular day. Overall, during that week, during that period, I was doing well, but definitely not where I'm at right now. But at that time, there was something in particular that I was really struggling with, and I just couldn't get over what was happening. But that particular day, when I recorded the video, I was talking about the fact that I was so happy that the previous day I overcame. I got past the struggle. And because of that, I was talking about the fact that no matter what else happens, I still did it that day. I still succeeded. I can't even remember what it was that I was talking about, what the challenge was. But whatever it was difficult at that period in my life, right? And because I had overcome just that one day, I wanted to remember it. So I made that recording. But the point is that it's easy to start forgetting the fact that, like, where you came from, because it was 2 months ago, right? And I started to forget that that was something that I was struggling with because I no longer do now, right? But the thing is, if you don't recall these successes, it's easy to just skim past them. It's easy to just forget that they've ever happened, whether it was 2 months ago, 2 years ago. You have successes in the past. You've overcome certain challenges in your life. And if you don't remember them and you don't bring them back to mind, you forget about them. And because of that, it's easy to fall into a negative spiral where you think that you can't succeed. You should use those things as fuel to excel in whatever it is that you're trying to do. If you can realize that you've overcome things in the past, you've gotten past challenges, overcome obstacles in the past, you've done it before, why can't you do it now? Whether it's the same challenge or something completely different, the fact is that you have done it before. But oftentimes when we reach a struggle in whatever our current day-to-day tasks are, we completely forget everything that happened before, all the years of experience that we've had. And because of that, we think like we're starting fresh. And at this point, it's like, I don't know if I can do that. What do you mean you can't do it? You've done it before, and you've done things that are way harder than that. Just think for a minute right now. What is one thing that you have overcome in the past, whether it's like 10 years ago or just like 10 days ago? What are things that you've overcome in the past that at one point you never thought that you could, and yet you pulled yourself out of that? There's something there. Think about it for a minute. Whatever popped up in your mind, that's the one. Think of that success. How did you achieve it? How did you get past it? That must have been a dark period in your life. And yet, you're standing here today. You're here watching this video. How did you get past that? At one point in your life, that was so hard that you thought that you would never get past it. But you're here. So you did. You did overcome. Don't forget that. Don't forget where you came. You've had successes in the past. You need to remember them. If you don't remember these things, what's going to end up happening is as soon as the negative thoughts come in and you start to think like, I don't know if I can do it, you're going to buy into them and you're going to think, yeah, you're right. And you're going to bring up the failures instead. See, because the failures, for some reason, they're always right there at the top of mind, right? You start thinking about, oh yeah, I remember I failed yesterday, so, here it goes, I'm going to fail again. But instead, you need to recall those successes. Now, this isn't just about like positive thinking, right? Because you need to have these things ready to go so that way when something comes up, that's already your initial response. Instead of a negative thought, automatically a positive thought comes in to replace it. You don't have to consciously think about it. You see? The only way that you could get to that point is when you start to change the belief that you have about yourself, who you really are. When you think about who you really are inside, This is what's known as your self-image. It's the most powerful tool that you have available to you because it's completely controlled by the subconscious, not the conscious mind. So your conscious mind is the rational, logical part of your brain that thinks day-to-day activities, right? Your day-to-day tasks, things come into your mind, you're trying to figure out how to solve problems. But the subconscious, which is below the awareness, this is a real part of your brain that works on autopilot 24/7, even when you're sleeping. And because of that, you have beliefs inside that dictate every action that you take, every decision you make, and every word that you say comes from this part. So the beliefs that you have about yourself absolutely determine your day-to-day experience. And if your beliefs are limiting, that's what you're going to experience in your life. So recall these successes that you've had in the past and brainwash yourself positively so that way it comes out at the right time and that you're acting through this success mindset, a growth mindset. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to consciously tell yourself who you are, and even if you don't believe it to the conscious mind, you can override that and dig deep into the subconscious. Now, may seem very weird to people, right? Because it seems strange to say stuff like, I am confident, I am successful, because sometimes your conscious mind will say like, that's not true. But that's what I'm saying. You need to make sure that you have these successes handy. You need to make sure that you've thought about these things that have happened in the past and recall the fact that they are true. And because they're true, now when you say those phrases, like I am confident, I am successful, they are true. It's not a lie, right? And because of that, you override the conscious mind, and those beliefs start to dig deeper into your subconscious, and that's going to drive you forward without you needing to think about it. It's just who you become. That's the only way to make a change in your life, is to first change what you believe about yourself. What do you say to yourself? What's the story you tell yourself? This is the most important thing, because when you do this, everything changes. If you don't do this, you're going to be stuck. You're going to keep running in circles, not making any progress, needing to fight against your own brain. You don't need to do that anymore. You need to change your self-image, change what you believe about yourself. Who are you? Think about those successes that you've had, because those things are true. They're real. And don't forget them, because that's who you really are.